Hi everyone. Welcome back to Woo Can Cook. My name is Wesley, and this is a show where we are slowly cooking our way through all of the food from my childhood. Today we're diving back into our series dedicated to reproducing foods from Americanized Chinese cuisine with a shot at perhaps one of the most iconic PF Chang's menu items, which is the Sesame Chicken. For those new to this channel, in this series we have been deconstructing classic dishes from Americanized Chinese cuisine, including now a very long list of dishes from the PF Chang's menu, then seeing what it might look like when reconstructed through the lens of more traditional wok cooking. Sesame chicken, of course, is not a foreign concept on this channel, and in fact, a few years back, we did our best rendition of the Panda Express honey sesame chicken. The PF Chang's sesame chicken, however, is in itself somewhat unique in that its signature sesame sauce does not use honey, but instead makes use of brown sugar to create its glaze. This in turn gives the dish a lighter and less sugar-forward quality that allows the toasted sesame of our dish to really come alive nicely. For our version today, we'll be following fairly close to the PF Chang's version, including a potato starch karaage style breading. We will, however, be making use of some knife technique to slice some long, thin broccoli spears, replicating the size and shape of the Chinese broccoli or gailan, allowing us to skip the steam on our veggies and instead yield a more crisp and crunchy flash fried veggie. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so kicking things off here first, we're starting off with some aromatic veggies for our stir fry later on. This is 4 cloves of crushed and minced garlic to start, followed by 1 inch or about 1 tablespoon of fine minced ginger, both of which will be blooming in the wok along with our other veggies. Now, according to the PF Chang's menu, their sesame chicken specifically contains yellow onion, red bell pepper, and broccoli. This gives the dish its bright and vibrant color, which I love, so we're going to stick with those for our version as well. So this is 1/2 of a medium onion diced with the root and still attached to aid in our dice, followed by an entire red bell pepper, also large diced by flipping it on its head, then slicing around the core to help us cleanly remove the bell pepper's seeds as well as nearly all of its membrane too. We're pulling out the remaining membrane, then giving this a quick large dice as well before moving on to our broccoli next. As I mentioned earlier, our broccoli might be the biggest adjustment that I think I'm making to our dish today, mainly because I'm not really a big fan of steamed veggies in a stir fry, which a broccoli floret in a stir fry absolutely does require in order for it to be edible. So, to get around this, instead of chopping broccoli florets as found in the original PF Chang's sesame chicken, I am instead slicing up thin spears to my broccoli, creating a nice long thin shape to my broccoli stem that's not too dissimilar to the Chinese broccoli or gailan, and will fry in our wok really nicely without a par cook. Moving on to our chicken next, I have 3 medium chicken thighs here that I'm large dicing as well. You can also use chicken breast if you want, although I do think that chicken thigh almost always yields a more tender piece of chicken in fried chicken recipes like this one. We're pairing our chicken with a pretty simple marinade today, mainly to stay out of the way of our sesame. This is 4 tablespoons of soy sauce to start, followed by a single tablespoon of Shaoxing wine and half a teaspoon of white pepper. Then we're mixing this to combine and setting aside to marinate for 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, now what you should do is drain off some of this liquid before combining our now marinated chicken with 1/3 cup of potato starch. The excess moisture here, as you'll see in a moment, will cause a bit of trouble in our shallow fry later on, but we'll get to that in a second. Moving on to our glaze next. Now at this point we're going on little to no information here from our PF Chang's recipe. What we do know is that the basis of the PF Chang's sesame chicken is their sesame sauce, which does have an ingredients list posted publicly. This ingredients list, amongst other things, puts a heavy emphasis on the use of brown sugar and soy sauce to create its sweet and savory elements, which in my opinion, more than anything else, excels at staying out of the way of our aromatic toasted sesame oil, which of course is the highlight of the dish. So, up first, this is 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of soy sauce to start, followed by 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil and 1 tablespoon of black vinegar. Then to give us just a little bit of umami, this is a single tablespoon of oyster sauce, and of course, as promised, 4 tablespoons or a quarter cup of brown sugar. Finally, rounding this all out, I'm also adding just a half tablespoon of dobanjang chili paste to give us a little bit of added heat. Then I'm mixing this all to combine and heading over to the stove. Over on the stove, we're employing one of my new favorite ways of frying chicken, which is a shallow fry in our round-bottomed wok, wherein the rounded shape of our wok allows us to fry in a relatively minimal amount of oil. So this is about 1 cup of fryer oil that I have in my wok, which we're heating to 350 degrees F. Then we're frying our chicken in batches of about 15 pieces at a time or so until golden brown and 165 internally. As you may notice, we are getting quite a bit of frothing in our oil, which is a result of the excess moisture in our batter, which once again, you should not do for yourselves. The frothing is indicative of water burning off in the fry, which implies that our oil is rapidly losing heat because it's burning moisture rather than frying chicken, which is not good. Don't do that. In any case, once our chicken is all fried up, I'm reheating my wok as hot as possible. Then I'm adding 4 tablespoons of peanut oil and, as always, long yao for a nice non-stick surface. Then going in here first, this is my garlic and ginger for about 15 seconds until nice and fragrant, followed by our more dense and durable veggies. Here's my broccoli spears and bell pepper going in. I'm giving these about a 2 to 3 minute head start to cook off some of their rawness before following up with my onion, then sauteing for an additional 2 to 3 minutes before removing. Finally, I'm dropping my heat to a medium-low, then adding my glaze mixture plus about a quarter cup of water. Then we're reducing our glaze for about 5 minutes until a thick and sticky glaze begins to form like so. Last up, here's my chicken and veggies going back into the wok. Then we're killing the heat entirely and tossing this all until thoroughly coated. We're serving this all up over rice and we're ready to eat. Okay, so those that have been following this channel for more than a little bit at this point should be well aware that we have made just about every single fried chicken stir fry that exists. This includes general chicken, honey sesame chicken, sweet and sour chicken, sriracha chicken, chicken karaage, gochujang chicken, and I could really just keep going. You may also notice, however, that I think this might be the first fried chicken stir fry that we have made that uses a glaze that does not contain honey. This, I might add, is very specifically because honey is the key element that creates a thickened and sticky glaze. Hypothetically, yes, you technically can create a glaze with any sugary element, but honey is generally going to work best, obviously, because it's already quite thick and sticky. So, our brown sugar glaze today most notably has a very unique texture to it that I think is much lighter, looser, and a lot less sweet than pretty much every other honey-based glaze that we've come up with so far. This in turn gives us a bunch of breathing room for our toasted sesame oil to come out, which is pretty critical because it is definitely very easy to overpower sesame oil and let it just sort of fade into the background of a dish, not unlike, I might add, what happens in a honey sesame chicken stir fry. So all this to say, if you love glazed chicken stir fries but are in search of something that's a little bit less sugared chicken, I definitely give this one a shot. Okay, so that's it everyone. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you give this one a shot. For those who are new to the channel, this one is part of a larger series that we've been doing that's dedicated to reproducing classic Chinese American dishes, so definitely check out that series next if you haven't yet because there's a lot of these. For the Bay Area locals, the Wu Can Cook Fried Rice pop-up is at the West Oakland Farmers Market in Oakland every Sunday morning, so come by and say hi if you can. More about that at wucancook.com/eats. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, be nice YouTubers, and I'll see you soon. Bye.